Welcome to this Purpose Software training video, intended to guide you in the installation of the ODBC drivers to connect to 2Serve reports. Let me kick off the install and we'll start to guide you through it. The setup is very straightforward. It's a next type install. Just follow the wizard through, accepting the default options. The only thing that you might want to change is the installation of DB Spy and online documentation, neither of which are required, but it's no harm if you do end up installing them. Before you install the software, please ensure that you have either version 10.2 or 10.3 of the ODBC drivers, as later versions won't operate correctly. Okay, let's let that run through, nice and quick. Okay, it will ask you whether you want to restart your computer. You don't need to, so just say no and finish. As the initial install completed, what we need to now go on to do is configure the drivers so that we can have access to the data. You should have a new option installed, IBM U2, there we go, and Universe ODBC driver. The first thing that we're going to access is the UCI editor. Now, if you're running Windows 7 or Vista or later, in fact anything other than XP, please right click first and go to the properties and change the compatibility so that it runs like it is here in Windows Vista Service Pack 1. I run that now. If you're running Windows 7, you'll see that the colour scheme has changed to Windows 7 Basic. No need to worry about that. And what I'm going to do first and foremost is just get rid of these extra entries by right click and delete, just to tidy it up. They're not necessary. Then right-click on ODBC Data Sources and choose Add. Type in your source name. I'd recommend the name of your server where 2Serve is hosted. In this instance, I'm going to choose localhost, as I'm configuring it for my laptop. Then change the DBMS type to Universe, and enter either the name of your server or the IP address. Again, I'm going to type in localhost here, but please enter whatever is appropriate for your situation. See, that's configured there. I can now click Save and exit the program, saying yes to save the changes I've made once more. We now have the we've now configured it so we can point to the correct server. What I'm now going to do is configure the Windows level ODBC administrative tool so that we can point to the correct account and use the right username and password, amongst other settings. So once more, I browse down to IBM U2 and Universe ODBC driver. You can see that I've got an entry here called ODBC admins. If you're running a 32-bit version of Windows, just click this edition and that will work absolutely fine. If, like me, you're running on a 64-bit version of Windows, you'll need to go somewhere else because we've installed a 32-bit application, 32-bit driver, and we'll need to run the 32-bit driver of the configuration tool so that we can access it appropriately. To do this, go to your C drive or wherever else you've installed Windows, Windows directory, syswow64, and run the program ODBC AD32, as we can see here. It looks exactly the same as the other program, but it allows us to administer the 32-bit drivers. Again, a little bit tidying up, which you don't need to do, but I like to, just removing these samples. Next, you've got two options here, either user DSN or system DSN. System DSN means that the configuration that we're going to apply now will be available to all users who log onto this device. User DSN means it's available just to this particular user. So I'm going to do it under user DSN in this instance and click Add. I need to scroll down and I need to find IBM Universe ODBC driver and highlight it and click Finish. Now, unless you're running multiple companies, the ODBC data source name will always be SERV, S-E-R-V, all in lowercase. As with other options in here, if you're running multiple companies, please contact either the help desk or your consultant to find out your specific options and then note them down for future use. Choose from the drop down. You can see I've got the entry I configured earlier in the UCI editor. localhost. I'm going to select that. My database will be all in capital letters, 2serve.odbc. That again will be different if you're using multiple companies. And my user will be 2serve. And again, my Windows password for that 2serve user. Next, I'll click on Options. To expand out this section, I'm going to elect to save the password and change the universe name mapping to no. Again, these are all useful standard options. That means that you'll get smooth running for your reports. Finally, I just need to click Test Connection to ensure that my settings are correct. In this instance, they are. It will require Universe database license when you click Test Connection. So please ensure you have one before you press that button. Finally, I'm going to click OK once, twice, and I've successfully configured ODBC to run reports from 2serve. Thank you.